guys, so it's Coach Nick here from Progressive Sports. So I just made a quick video that you're about to watch in a few seconds, and it's all about throwing. Okay, so it's not about receiving and catching, it's just about throwing, trying to get different targets using different pieces of equipment. So one of the pieces of equipment that I've used, which is really easy to get hold of at home, is a sock. Okay, I've then used things such as bean bags, teddies. The things that I've been throwing at are teddies, so it's again something really easy to get hold of, something that's not going to break, and I've really focused on using the underarm technique and the overarm technique. I threw a few challenges in there as well, so it's really challenging. Get the kids to be challenging themselves, because the harder it is, the more fun it will become, and the more that they will learn and progress, the more challenging that they find it. Okay. Also, I've added a bit of maths games into there at the end, so if you wanted to use it during your maths lesson, as well as PE lessons, which is cross-curriculum, you can also do that as well. So the main things to take from the lesson is an underarm throw and an overarm throw. Why do we do it? So a great example of a sport that we use both throws in would be cricket. Okay, I use both throws when I play cricket, and with the underarm throw, I would always throw the underarm throw when I'm standing close to somebody that I want to throw the ball to. I wouldn't be standing close to somebody and use the overarm throw, because it generates too much power. The person that's going to get it is more than likely going to be scared of catching it, and we're going to end up taking longer to field the ball. So when I'm standing closer to someone, I use the underarm throw so I can get good direction to it, less speed, and the person isn't going to be less frightened. Okay, and when I'm throwing underarm as well, the piece of equipment goes upwards, so the person that's receiving it can catch it nice and high. Okay, so it's always good to use an underarm throw when throwing it to someone close. Okay, so that will be shown in the video. We also move on to an overarm throw. So again, we use the same technique as the underarm throw. So we would use a pointing arm and pointing toes. This time the sock is just going to be above our shoulder. Okay, and this time you're just going to be throwing for more power. So when I use the overarm throw, again in cricket, it would be when somebody who I want to throw the ball to is standing further away. Okay, so instead of the ball just going to someone nice and close, I'm actually trying to get more power on the throw, so I can throw it to someone who's standing a bit further away. Okay, that way it's got enough power to get the distance it wants to travel as well. Now when I'm throwing overarm, the sock will travel in a different motion to the underarm one. When the underarm one goes up, the overarm one normally goes down. Okay, so you're throwing it in a downwards position. So when the person's trying to catch it on the other side, they're more than likely going to go down rather than catching up high. Okay, but again, we're just focusing on the throwing, so concentrate on just using the power for the throw. So underarm is for something nice and close, and changing to an overarm when something's far away. Again, in the video you see that I use different throws for different things that I'm trying to hit. So enjoy the video, guys, keep practicing while you're at home, and stay safe. Cheers. Coach Nick here again from Progressive Sports, and now we've done our warm-up games, I'm now going to move on to the first part of our PE session. So my session today is going to be all about throwing. Okay, so I'm going to be using teddies as targets. I've also got socks, something really easy that you can get at home to be throwing with, and I'm just going to do a little bit of target practice. So the first one I'm going to do is going to be the underarm throw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the sock in the underarm position. The arm that I'm not going to use, I'm going to use it as a pointing arm. Okay, and I'm also going to use my toes as pointing toes. So when I'm facing the target, I'm going to make sure my pointing arm and my pointing toes are facing my targets. So I put the targets nice and close, so I'm going to use a close throw, and I'm going to see if I can hit it. I've got 5 socks, I've got 5 targets, let's see how many I can get. Start here. I've got that one, so I'm going to collect it. Get my second sock. Fix this one. Oh, I missed that one. Yeah, I'll go for this one. Oh, I missed that one as well. Taking my time, using my pointing arm. Can I hit that one? Fantastic. So I've got 2. And with my last one, I'm going to hit that one. Fantastic. So I managed to get 3 targets out of 5. Okay. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do it again. But this time I'm going to try and use my weaker arm. So I'm going to do the same game, But this time I'm going to use my weaker arm, which is my right arm. Collect my socks. Spread my targets out nice and close because we're using the underarm throw, which is a close throw. This time I'm going to use my right arm, so let's see how many I can get. So using my left arm to point, my toes to point, and a nice swing of the arm manages to hit this one. Now, when I'm throwing it, making sure I'm going behind and back forward, okay? So I want to try and get a little bit of power on my throw by using that kind of motion to be able to throw it nice and far. So again, pointed, and I managed to get 2. 2 out of 2 with my weaker arm isn't too bad. Nice and close one this time. Again, using my pointed arm. That's 3. 2 more left. Go for the elephant this time. Oh my god, I'm going to get all 5 I think with my weaker arm. And 1 left. Pressure's on now. So again, pointing toes, pointing arm, looking down the arm. Using my motion to throw, and I just about got that one. I'm going to give it myself. So I managed to get 5 out of 5 with my weaker arm. So using my left arm to point, my pointing toes really helped me find my target. Okay, so once you've had a go with that, you can make it a little bit harder again. So if you wanted to practice doing it while balancing on one leg and throwing, that would be really challenging, so that would be able to help the older children find it a bit more challenging for them. I'm just going to move on now to an overarm throw. So this time I'm going to get my target and I'm just going to move them further away from me. So again, using my socks, I'm just going to do 1 sock at a time, but this time I'm going to focus on an overarm throw. So instead of doing the underarm throw, this time it's up over my shoulder, up near my ear. I'm going to use my opposite arm again for pointing, my pointing toes, but this time I'm going to try and throw overarm to try and hit the targets that are a little bit further away. So first of all, I'm going to use my stronger arm, which is my right arm. I'm going to point for the elephant, pointing with my toes. Can I get it? Oh, so I managed to hit it, so I'm going to collect it. So that's 1. Again, using my pointing toes and pointing arms, looking down. Oh, missed that one. Let's go for a different one. I managed to hit that one. That's 2. Furthest one. Oh, I managed to get it, so that's 3. Really good effort so far. And my last one. Can I get the dog? Brilliant. So I managed to get 4 out of 5 with my overarm throw. Okay, so when I'm using my throws, if I'm throwing an object, in this case it's a pair of socks, okay, if I'm throwing to someone close, I would use an underarm throw, so it's nice and easy for the other person to catch or receive. If I'm throwing it further away, I'm going to change my throw to an overarm throw. So this time, I'm going to play the game one more time. I'm going to spread my teddies out all over the area. So I'm going to put some nice and close, and I'm going to put some far away. So this time, what I need to do is the ones that are closer, I need to use my underarm throw. The ones that are a bit further away, I need to use my overarm throw. So I'm going to use 2 different throws now to see how many I collect. Again, I'm going to use my strong hand to see how many I get. So here we go. So I'm going to start off with the elephant. So a nice and close one, underarm throw. And I managed to get it. So that's 1. That's a good start. This time I'm going to go for the cat, which is a bit difficult. So changing to an overarm throw, pointing arm, pointing toes. Oh, and he's managed to hit that one as well. She's going to collect this one. That's 2 out of 2, brilliant so far. And I'm going to now go for the middle one. Now this one is in the middle, so I could use underarm. I could also maybe use an overarm. I'm going to use the underarm one because I feel like I can get enough power to get that one from here. So nice bent arms, and I've managed to hit the middle one. Wow, 3 out got 3, really taking my time, focusing on the target is helping me. I'm not just rushing and throwing them anywhere, I'm taking my time. This time I'm going to use the overarm throw because this one's really far away. Oh, didn't manage to get that one. And my last one, I'm going to go for my teddy. So should I use my overarm throw now or my underarm throw? I think I'm going to use my underarm throw because it's nice and close. So pointing arm, pointing toes, and an underarm throw gets the job done. Fantastic. So I've managed to collect 4, and now I'm going to try again, but I'm going to really challenge myself. So instead of using my weak arm this time, I'm going to try and do it while balancing on one leg. So let's see how many I can get. We'll see how many I can get now while balancing on one leg. So spread them out again. I'm going to start by going for the furthest one. So it's an overarm throw, pointing toe, pointing arm, balancing. Oh, I've managed to get it. So that's 1 out of 1. Great start there. This time I'm going to go for the dog. So this time I'm going to use the underarm throw, balance, pointing arm, pointing toes. And I managed to hit this one. Brilliant effort so far. This time I'm going to go for the giraffe. So again, this time I'm going to use the overarm throw because it's in between. So I could use the underarm if I wanted, but I'm going to try the overarm. Oh, and I managed to miss that one. 2 left. I'm going to go for the cat this time. So this time I'm going to use the overarm again. Balance on that leg. Again, using that practice arm, I've managed to miss it. But there's always one more. So this time I'm going to go back for my underarm. So pointing arm. And then underarm throw manages to just get it on the ear. So I've been able to collect 3. Now because I was challenging myself, I don't think 3 out of 5 is quite that bad. I think that's a great effort. So that's game number 1. Hope you can enjoy that one. Like I said, you can change it, you can use different targets to hit. It doesn't have to be teddies, it can be baskets. You could use different pieces of equipment to throw, so it doesn't have to be something small. You could use a ball and try and hit targets with anything that you can get hold of at home. Alright guys, stay safe, cheers. Hi guys, so for our last throwing and catching game, as you can see, I've managed to build up a bit of an audience now, so my teddies are going to be watching, cheering me on, giving me a bit of encouragement to be trying my best. Now, instead of using target practicing, I'm now going to be using a hoop. Okay, now I've got hoops at home. If you've not got hoops at home, you can use laundry baskets, toy boxes, anything like that that you can just throw an object into, you can use that. You could even improvise and make a small circle with couple of pieces of equipment. Okay, so anything that you can do to use as like a bit of an area to be throwing will be perfect. Okay, so this time, instead of throwing just socks, I'm going to be throwing a couple of different pieces of equipment. So I've got a teddy that I'm going to start to throw with, I've got a sock I can throw with, I've got a beanbag, and I've got just a little toy. Okay, so anything that you can get hold of and just throw that's not going to break will be perfect for this game. Okay, so I'm going to use these 4 pieces of equipment, and I'm going to challenge myself to see how many pieces of equipment I can get to stay inside my hoop. Okay, now if it goes in and bounces out, I'm going to be really tough on myself, and I'm not going to count that. Okay, it's got to stay inside the hoop for it to count. Now when I finished after throwing 4, I'm going to see how many points I've been able to get. So I'm hoping that I can get 4. Again, I'm keeping to start, I'm keeping the hoop really close. So I'm going to be using an underarm throw, so it's a little bit easier for me to start. Okay. Well, challenge number 1 is to just get 4 items into the hoop. Okay. So I'm going to start off with sock because I've been practicing with that one already, and let's hopefully it will bounce out and it's going to stay in. So pointing arm, pointing toes. I'm going to slightly bend my back a little bit, and I've managed to miss the first one. So pressure's on now. This time I'm going to use a teddy. So again, pointing arm out. I'm going to give myself that one, because it's half in and half out, so that's 1 point. The beanbag. Fantastic. And last one is going to be my toy. So again, using the same technique for all different throws. Oh, that one's bounced out. So out of 4 goals, I've managed to get 2 points. Okay, so have a couple of goes of that until you can manage to get them all in. Okay, keep practicing using different pieces of equipment. It's really good to have bigger objects and smaller objects, different things to throw. I'm now going to move my hoop a bit further away. Okay, so this time, instead of using the underarm throw, I'll go back to that overarm throw. So I'm going to start with the sock, and this time, pointing arm, pointing toes. I'm going to throw. Oh, and I just missed. Next, I'm going to use the dog. I'm going to throw, and that one bounced the opposite way because it weren't a circle, so that one just went. Well, let's see how I get on with the teddy. Oh, bounced out as well. Last one for a point. Overarm throw with a beanbag. Fantastic. So throwing further away, managed to get 1 point. Remember, throwing something further away is harder than throwing something really close to you. So keep practicing until you can get more pieces of equipment in. And like I said before, I'm using a hoop on the grass. Things will bounce in and they will bounce out. Okay, using a basket or a tub might help things stay inside the area to get a bit more success. You might be a bit more generous, and if things bounce in and then bounce out, you might give them a point for that because they've still been able to originally hit that target. Okay, so again, you can score that system however you want. So moving on to my last one, I'm now going to add 3 hoops. So my blue hoop is going to be my furthest away hoop. I'm then going to have a yellow hoop in the middle and a red hoop really close. Okay, so this time, if I get one in the red hoop, that can count as 1 point. Okay, if I get it in the second hoop, they count as 2 points. If I can get any of them in the third hoop, that would count as 3 points. So we can use some maths as well into what we're doing to do some adding. You could ask the child if he can try and score 5 points, so he would maybe try and get a 3 and a 2. And you might make it really difficult and ask them to get a higher number like 8, so they've got to be practicing more on getting the further away throw. So again, you can have as much fun with it as possible. Use it as part of your maths lesson as well. You can be taking away using your times table. It's really good with that. Again, I put them in a straight line in front of me. You can spread them out, so if you wanted them to be throwing in different directions rather than one straight line, you can spread them out however you want. So I'm going to start with the sock, and I'm going to go for a nice safe 2 points. So I'm going to use my underarm throw because it's in the middle. Bend my knees, toes facing, arms facing. Nice underarm throw. So it went in and it went out. Because I'm being quite difficult with myself, I'm not going to give myself a point for that. I'm now going to move on to my beanbag. So I'm going to now use the blue one. So 3 points. So pointing toes, pointing arms, overarm throw, beanbag up by the ear, and a throw. Okay, so I didn't manage to get 3 points. It's managed to go into the yellow hoop, so I've managed to get 2 points. So instead of getting 3, I've still got 2, which is a fantastic result. So that's 2 to start. I'm now going to move onto the red hoop using my teddy. So I'm going to use my underarm throw to try and get it in. And that one managed to stay in, throwing it nice and gentle. And my last one, the tricky one, is going to be my dog. Okay, so I'm going to go for the blue one again. It's a bit of a challenge for me, my overarm throw. As you can see, that one's really difficult with the bounce. It's just rolled away and it's gone nowhere. So out of all the equipment that's been thrown, I've managed to get 1 point and I've managed to get 2 points. So I've managed to get 3 points overall. So you can use that technique, use those games to have lots of different ideas, lots of different fun games. Challenge yourself as well, like I said. You can go back onto balancing on one foot, you can practice throwing your weaker arm, and you can also move the items around so that it's a bit easier or a bit harder for you to collect. So hope you enjoyed that game, guys. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Keep practicing and stay safe. Thank you.